World of choice.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. I hope everybody had a fantastic long Easter weekend. I was definitely holed up inside my house the entire time. I think I came out maybe twice to run some errands, a little bit of groceries, to see a friend. And at least for me, that was a little bit of what Easter was about, just connecting with people that I haven't seen in a moment. So I was thankful to do that. But for me, it was, you got to buckle down and focus on some personal goals right here. And boy, did I ever have that fear of missing out, because everywhere on social media, I saw people having so much fun. So much fun camping, so much fun at Rum Point. Rum Point looked a little unappealing at times, a little too crowded, a little too many people there, if there can be such a thing. I was like, okay, I'm not sure I'd want to roll up certain occasions, but some of those night parties, man, they looked fun, and I definitely missed out. So your Ludi Queen did not live up to her reputation, because I did not show up to play Ludi with anybody. I said I would, I did not. I buckled down, guys. Trust me, I buckled down. I stayed at home the entire time. A lot went on. I missed all of it. I don't know of any news that happened over the weekend. I tried to look, but man, I really don't know of any news that happened over the weekend. So if there's anything you want to share, if you want to let me know how your Easter weekend went, what you did, maybe you did a little getaway and you took off for the long weekend and went somewhere. Maybe you did go camping. Let me know how it went. I was happy to see that the rain came a little bit, so it helped cool down the place, and the campers weren't in complete heat the entire time. So I was glad to see a little bit of kind of morning showers or afternoon showers that would happen for people. So that was nice, a little bit of a reprieve for them. And I asked my neighbor, who's always camping, and her family's from Northside, so I was like, hey, you're home this weekend, why aren't you camping? And you know, her response to me was, Kathy, Cayman has changed with the camping here. And I was like, okay, it seemed for the worse. And I didn't quite understand that, because when I look at everything, it seemed that I love to see more people camping. I love to see the highlights of everybody enjoying themselves and to see the tradition being continued. So yes, there's more people. Yes, there's more cultures mingling and just taking part in a very big Caymanian tradition of camping during Easter time, but I think it's a good tradition to keep going. So I'd love to see it. And if you got some great stories over the weekend, share them with me. We got open line until 8 a.m. So if I didn't say that, I'm saying it now. You can give me a call. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call or WhatsApp message us at 925-3261. Again, I have no idea what happened over the weekend, except for that Iran was threatened to be pretty much blown off the map today if they didn't comply to certain rules that the so-called leader of the U.S. Gave them. But other than that, it's still Tuesday. Tuesday remains to be seen what will happen. We still have the rest of the day to go. So that's probably the only news I kind of tuned into and wanted to tune out of right away, because boy, that can get to you. So while I'm waiting to hear from you, if you want to talk about anything, what's on your mind, anything that's going on at all, a lot of changes are happening in Cayman. So I have my notes prepared for you, right? Just in case I don't get the call. Some of y'all just like to hear me talk. I don't like to hear myself talk all that much, all that long. You're really testing my brain function early in the morning here if I just have to talk to myself. Well, I'm talking to all of you, but I would like to engage in conversation, so I'd like to hear from you. But nevertheless, I do have some notes prepared for this morning. There were some topics that I started to get into on Thursday and just ran out of time. So you know that I've been coming on the buzz during any open line segment and reminding you to join I want to say, what is it, guys? Come on, answer me. The Move It Cayman Challenge. Don't forget to go to gov.ky/. Move It Cayman. Sign up for the 12-week challenge. We're already, I think we're 2 weeks in now. Or no, one official week in, because it did officially kick off during the DG's 5K, which was the final Sunday in March. So we are officially just over 1 week into the Move It Cayman challenge. What have you been doing? I know that I've challenged listeners. If you are sitting all day, mostly at your desk, you don't have a lot of movement in your job, I've been challenging you to do 10 air squats. So just 10 squats with your own body weight every hour. That really shouldn't take too long. 10 air squats. I gave you some science behind this reasoning on Thursday. I'm not going to repeat all that science, but it's something really, really good that you can try. And in fact, it's more effective than a 45-minute workout that you'll do in the morning. So research says. Can you imagine? You know how upset I would be going to the gym early in the morning? I'm not a morning person already. So if I was to go to the gym early in the morning and I get a 45-minute workout in and I'm, a little bit miserable during the workout, but you always feel good after a workout. And then you go home, you get ready for work, you're working all day, 8-hour day or so, only to find out that, I could have just been doing 10 air squats throughout the day and that would have been more effective than my 45-minute workout in the morning. Time is precious. So is effort and energy. So I'm just saying these are different hacks that we can incorporate into our lives. If you're not moving at all, try that. If you are moving at all, I want you to try habit stacking something. Habit stack. So put another good wellness or healthy habit or something that you would like to try to do, stack that on top of what you already do for some movement right now. It just makes things a lot easier. It's the momentum of things. So that is my challenge to you guys. Sign up today if you haven't done it. gov.ky/moveitcayman. I know you guys have heard me speaking about this a lot, so we are going to be moving on to other things. So as mentioned last Thursday, I had some open line and I began speaking about the new immigration law changes, which are set to take effect on Friday, May 1st, which is now about 3 weeks away. And I just started to get into the possible impact of these changes from a business perspective. So I will begin this topic again by letting you know some of the biggest changes and then unpack what those changes mean from a business point of view. We're trying to be very objective here. The new law, now titled the Caymanian Protection Act, it was passed by Parliament in December, and it was originally slated to take effect March 1st, but government says that the new date of May 1st was chosen so that they could tweak some of the draft laws, and they also needed to make sure that the technology, the forms, the processes, and all the staff training was going to be ready and in place. I'm happy that they moved the goalpost from March 1st or beginning of March at least, to May 1st, because we need things to be ready. We kind of saw there was a little bit of a mess with the DVDL when they all weren't ready with the little what do they call them, microbike things? I forget now all of a sudden because it's such a weird term. I don't know anybody who calls them microbikes, but anyways, the little e-bikes. There was a bit of a mess in trying to implement that a little too fast. Not everybody was on the same page. We want to make sure everybody is on the same page. Ideas are great, but if they're not properly implemented and executed, it's going to fail. So you got to take your time with it. And it's a big change. We haven't had a lot of these changes in at least maybe 15 years for some of them, at least some of the fee changes that have been proposed. So we need some time, and I appreciate government taking that time to make sure, they're crossing their T's and they're dotting their I's with this. As mentioned, OC on For the Record had Minister the Honourable Michael Miles on several times in February and March to discuss new immigration laws, and you can always revisit those conversations if you want to get more in depth on our YouTube page. So just go to Radio Cayman on YouTube and you can search for those shows, For the Record with OC and Minister Miles. But if you didn't tune into that and you missed some of it, I'm giving you a bit of a recap on the major changes to the immigration laws that we should be aware of. And I gave this list last week. I'm going to run through this list again, but we do have a little bit more time to get into detail about some of these changes in the immigration law, now called the Caymanian Protection Act. So as mentioned, the effective date that Government and Work announced for the immigration law changes is the 1st of May. And until then, the existing application methods and channels still apply. So you can still apply now. And I'm going to get into this later. You can just still apply now. According to all the existing rules that are there. Only from May 1st, once the new laws are in effect, will you have to abide by those new laws. There is an early employer change restriction, which some of us like to call job hopping. But government's fact sheet on these immigration law changes says that a work permit holder who changes employers within the first 2 years must leave the island for 1 year before applying for another work permit. That's actually the first major point that I'm going to start to unpack in Open Line today. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I have some experiences of my own to share, which at that point would be subjective because they're my experiences. There's fact behind it. These things did happen. That's a really tricky law change right there. Anyways, it's happening effective May 1st. There is also a higher dependent income threshold. So the monthly income threshold for a permit holder adding dependents rises from $3,500 plus $500 for each additional dependent to $5,000 plus $1,000 for each additional dependent. It's a big change as well. There is change to the express processing, which now has a legal basis. So the 2026 Amendment Act formally authorizes expedited processing and express fees with written notice required where delays mean no refund is available. So we'll get into that a little later. And fee changes are coming. We know this. Some of them are still not final. As of the 27th of March, just last week, the revised fee schedule regulations were still in progress and would commence with legislation. Again, that was last announced March 27th. I haven't seen any updates on finalized fee arrangements as yet, so we'll still be hearing about that. However, with those fee changes, they were introduced in the budget, which was passed, I think it was the very, very end of November or very beginning of December. I can't remember, even though I've had discussions on it. A lot of things have happened. Dates aren't my best thing. But this was already discussed in the budget for 2026-2027. So these fee changes, they're not new to us. We know that those were coming. So the work permit fees themselves, we know that they were not said to change in consultation, but the application fees would be restructured. So application fees will be moving to a tiered structure and new fees within that will be introduced. So some examples from the proposed fee draft include annual work permit express fees were proposed in a tiered range from $100 to $300. There should be a vacancy registration on the electronic jobs portal of $25. So a fee to have a vacancy registration. The business staffing plan submission to $350 and business staffing plan approval $1,000. These are fees in the consultation draft, so we're going to treat them as proposed until they are confirmed in the final regulations, which we're still waiting to hear about. And there has been no change to the PR points system. So, government says reform does not change the permanency residency points-based framework. However, there are longer waits for some status pathways. So the fact sheet does break down the categories. So we're looking at people can face 20 years or 15 years of legal and ordinary residency before applying for Caymanian status, depending on the category. There's also transitional protections that have been applied. So applications and appeals already submitted will be handled under the law that applied when the application or appeal were filed. Existing valid work permits remain valid to expiry, meaning permit holders don't have to reapply come May 1st, nor do people who've just applied for status or PR. They don't have to reapply. They will not fall under the new laws, as from what I understand, so far. People born in Cayman on or before the 26th of March 1977 are now recognized as Caymanian as of right. But I'm sure they're still going to take 26 steps to have to prove that. It's just how the system is. I guess that was a bit subjective of me right there, but I had to throw that in. All right, so we also know that government wants tighter coordination across agencies, a lot of data sharing to really streamline things. That makes a lot more sense to me. But when it comes to data protection, then I have a little questions about that as well. So that's a summary of the most important changes to be aware of. And we're going to go into a commercial break. But when we come back from the commercial break, I mentioned that the first point that I want to talk about is the fact that there is an early employer change restriction. I want to get into that when we come back. So the people who are going to change their employer within the first 2 years must leave the island for a year. That's what I want to talk about from a business point of view. What does this mean? Let's go to a commercial break first.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Following the end of slavery, the relationships between the former masters and ex-apprentices varied across the island. Relations were peaceful in West Bay, where the former masters entered into bargains for work and property rentals with their former slaves. However, the same was not the case for Bordentown, which historically housed the largest concentration of slaves. The former masters wanted to hire as much labor for the lowest wages, in return for the former slaves' continued usage of the homes, whereas the former slaves wanted to keep their houses without obligation to work when they wished for the highest wages. The former slaves would eventually move to East End, clearing the unoccupied land for themselves.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Saturday, April 18th, will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today, rotarysciencefair.ky. The future is sparkling.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman News.
No big surprise. Most things were more expensive in 2025.
There are currently 17 irregular Cuban migrants in the islands.
The murder trial is in its final stages as the judge began her summation earlier today.
Invasive species is a global problem and it's very impactful, especially in Cayman.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week. The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is a beautiful Tuesday, April 7th. We're back to work. Don't ask me why I went to bed at 1 a.m. Even though I had 4 days of being completely locked inside my home to rest and catch up, I still did what I always do, which is only get like 4 hours of sleep before I got to come on the show. So I want to say, I hope you're like me and well rested, but I'm not well rested at all. But I hope the rest of you are. I think some of the kids are still off of school. I believe they are. The roads were a lot quieter this morning when I came out on my little 30-second drive to work. So I hope the rest of you are enjoying a pretty easy drive into work this morning. And if you got anything you want to talk to me about, you got about 9 minutes or so to give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. Let me know how your Easter weekend went. If not, I'm here to talk about some of those new immigration law changes that are going to be in effect May 1st. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can call or WhatsApp us on 925-3261. It has to be a WhatsApp call. Don't just regularly call that number, okay? Now, as I was saying, the immigration law changes. When I began this topic on Thursday, I really started with the renaming of the Immigration Act to the Caymanian Protection Act. I got into that a little bit more last week, but just to summarize what I said about that on Thursday, globally, most countries keep immigration laws neutrally named. On one hand, the name can be perceived to be divisive, unwelcoming, and restrictive. And on the other hand, it can be perceived to be that government is serious about protecting national interest and putting Caymanians first, which, I mean, I think every government should be. That should be a no-brainer. But again, that was subjective. So my question here is, what does that name change signal? Does renaming it change how businesses, investors, and workers might perceive the country? Cayman's economy does depend on both protecting local opportunity and attracting global talent, labor, and foreign investment. So if you are a business owner or run a business, what does the renaming of the law signal to you? Does it even matter to you? So as promised, next on that list from the business perspective that is concerning, that I want to dissect, is the early employer change restriction. So government's fact sheet says that a work permit holder who changes employers within the first 2 years must leave the islands for 1 year before applying for another work permit. Why? Because it potentially reduces job hopping among permit holders, which some employers may welcome. Businesses that invest in recruitment, relocation, and onboarding often complain that workers can move too quickly after arrival. So for some employers, this could create more workforce stability and protect recruitment investment. But there is another side to that. It could also reduce labor flexibility if a worker is in the wrong job or a better fit exists elsewhere. The system becomes less fluid. That may be especially challenging in sectors that rely heavily on imported labor and need to adjust staffing quickly, like hospitality, construction, care work, and some of the service sectors. So this is where I want to get a little bit personal and speak from my own experiences. So no longer looking at this objectively, but from a personal experience. I have been in a couple of positions on this island where I have come to work for somebody and they expect to hold your passport. Illegal. Very, very, very illegal. You do not hold on to somebody's passport from another country. I'm going to be real audacious and say that's borderline trafficking right there. You don't hold on to people's passports. That's a threat. That's an indirect threat. So there's been the occasions of that. Let me hold on to your passport. You have to get my permission to leave island. No, I do not have to get your permission to leave island. What this is like. People are crazy. There has been instances where there was one instance where I was very unfairly dismissed and threatened, and a big, huge power play was put on me. I'll just call the chief immigration officer and he'll tell me where your next job is going to be. And I never thought that me staring down a billionaire in the face to be like, okay, call him. He knows my situation, the chief immigration officer. I never thought that me saying that would be enough of a play to knock that person down from trying to get me off island within 2 days. That was my very first experience here. It was horrific. It was absolutely horrific. Unfairly dismissed, threatening me, trying to hold my passport. It was a very, very scary experience. I'm a young 25-year-old girl. I don't know what's going on in that sense. You have people with a lot of money, with their own jet planes, trying to pull major moves on you. And I'm supposed to know better than them? So that was a real eye-opener in Cayman. I went to another employer who wouldn't pay his workers for weeks. Weeks. I'm talking about laborers. I'm talking about men that work on roofs for 12 hours a day that weren't getting paid for weeks. I would get paid for my little office work that I was doing in there. But these men would come in starving and crying. Do you know how hard it is to see a grown man crying, begging just for a little bit of food so he can eat? So I worked for an employer in Cayman, a Caymanian employer who did that to people. He got fined a measly $2,500. He wasn't paying people's pensions. He wasn't paying their health insurance. He was fined $2,500. These people couldn't pay their rent and couldn't buy food. But now with this new law change, instead of them being able to get under what is, I call, a slave ownership kind of working arrangement, instead of people being able to do that, now they're being punished and they must leave island before being able to come back. That is absolute insanity to me. Why are we punishing the workers when the business owners who are doing a lot of terrible things in Cayman, a lot of you guys are great, amazing, but there's a lot of you that aren't doing things by the law. And a lot of you that come from other countries, like where I'm from, that know you cannot get away with doing that in Canada, but you try to get away with it here. And the treatment of people is disgusting. I also worked for another employer who paid people according to nationality. According to nationality. I had somebody that was under me. She now works in government. She's probably listening to this. The money that she was getting paid was half of what I was getting paid because she was from the Philippines. She had a higher education than I did. But because she was Filipino, we're going to give her half the money. Her nationality already deemed she wasn't worth being paid more. We also sometimes wouldn't get our pay, or we'd go to the bank and our checks would bounce. So you tell me what we're supposed to do as employees working for people who hold us like that, who take our passport, who threaten us, who don't pay us, who don't pay our pension or health insurance. All of a sudden, all the investment that we have put moving here to Cayman, now we must leave in an even worse position because of how terrible an employer was. I understand job hopping in the bad aspect of it. When people do take advantage, I understand that, but there's other avenues to fix that. But this law, I think is horrendous. I think it's horrible, and I know all of us know somebody who has been treated extremely unfairly, extremely poorly, and could not get out of that job position. Or if they had the opportunity to, wouldn't you want them to? Wouldn't you want that? Why do people have such hate in their hearts to say, oh no, let them stay in that position. Oh no, you got to leave Cayman now. You got to go. Only for this to happen all over again and the original problem never to be fixed. That's what we have to look at as a nation. And that was very subjective from me. Because I've been through it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. So on that note, we're going to go to the 8 a.m. news. And after that, we're going to turn into some Other exciting talk, I'm going to have a TCA paint shop. We're going to hear about them. They've got some new location. And then we're going to be talking with Flo and Liberty Business to hear about their Aprenticeship program after that. So stay tuned for the news, and I'll be back with you right after that.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
I'm April Cummings with your latest news. Education Minister the Honourable Rolston Anglin says Creek and Spot Bay Primary and Cayman Brac show what it takes to support a full range of learning needs in a small school.
These schools have all the same challenges of any school in Grand Cayman, any school in any system. And so they have special and additional education needs like everywhere else.
Mr. Anglin tells the Sister Islands news agency that reality makes specialist staff just as important as classroom teachers, highlighting the work of counselors, occupational therapists, and educational psychologists at Creek and Spot Bay. Cayman Brac West and Little Cayman MP the Honourable Nicholas DaCosta also happens to be a proud alumni and is proud of what he's seeing there.
Just walking through the halls of that school, the classrooms, interacting with the teachers there now and the students was very inspiring to see all of the work that they are doing. Not only the written work, the typical math and science and English, but the extracurricular activities that they're doing as well, and recognizing our culture and our heritage in every single classroom.
Officials say that combination of specialist support, culture-rich classrooms, and community buy-in are central to continue to raise achievement across government schools in the years ahead. Mr. Anglin and Mr. DaCosta were part of a group celebrating the Good Schools achievement in the BRAC recently. Parliamentary Secretary Julie Hunter says the Parliamentary Management Amendment Bill will provide for essential changes to ensure MPs can keep up with the cost of serving their communities.
Previous to now, we only had assistants, but now we do have now the ability now to make one of those assistants a manager when they're at that level, and so that manager would overall, be in charge, and then you would still have an assistant, or in the case of ministers, they're allowed to have two, I believe.
On Radio Cayman's For the Record recently, Mrs. Hunter said the bill also recognizes just how hard it can be to stretch today's constituency allowance across rent, utilities, and community support.
The other thing that we are providing for in this amendment is to increase the constituency allowance from $5,000 to $6,500 per month for each constituency office.
Mrs. Hunter says the extra funding and clearer staffing structure should make it easier for MPs to respond quickly and effectively. The Parliamentary Management Amendment Bill 2026 is now published in the Gazette for the public to review. A new foundation's calling on Caymanians to take charge of their economic future. The Caymanians' first charitable foundation, founded by Caymanian Don Seymour, has launched in Grand Cayman to empower Caymanians through skills training, career development, and community support. CEO Jewel Hides will lead programs in 5 areas, from youth and sports to senior care and workforce readiness. The foundation says it is driven to create real pathways for Caymanians. You can find out more at caymaniansfirst.com. That is your local news at this hour. I'm April Cummings. Now, the BBC, 4 stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. The Israeli military has warned Iranian civilians against using Iran's rail network today. A media blackout in Iran means few people have seen it. Iranian media says that a railway bridge has been struck in Kashan, killing 2 people. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have said they'll retaliate beyond the Middle East and deprive the US and its allies of oil and gas if Washington crosses what the group described as red lines. In the past half hour, President Trump has issued his own warning, saying an entire civilization could die tonight. Lebanese media say at least 8 people have been killed in the latest Israeli strikes. Dozens more are reportedly wounded. The authorities in Turkey say a gunman has been killed and 2 others wounded in a shootout near the Israeli consulate in Istanbul. At least 2 police officers were said to be injured. On a visit to Budapest, the US Vice President J.D. Vance has accused Brussels of interfering in Hungary's elections. The Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, has been America's most loyal ally in Europe, but is trailing in opinion polls ahead of Sunday's vote. Roads have been flooded and bridges destroyed across parts of the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea as a Category 4 cyclone rips through the region. Both countries have issued severe tropical storm warnings with fears of landslides and further flooding. Police in Ethiopia have arrested a man suspected of trafficking thousands of East Africans to Libya. Police said the network ran 5 detention sites in Libya where victims were held and subjected to severe abuse. An American hedge fund has offered to buy the Universal Music Group in a deal worth more than $60 billion. The world's biggest music company represents a huge list of artists, including Taylor Swift. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy.
Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Looking for a station that plays the music you actually love? Switch now to Breeze 105.3 FM. The best adult contemporary hits of the 70s, 80s, and more. All day, every day. Feel good. Sing along and let the breeze keep you company.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 76 degrees. Relative humidity is 91%. The barometric pressure is 29.89 inches and falling. The winds are calm. Overnight low temperature was 73 degrees. Synopsis indicate a weak pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean is allowing for light winds and smooth seas to persist. The chance of showers remain low due to a dry and stable atmosphere. Radar imagery show no showers in and around the Cayman area at this time. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for mostly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise near the mid-80s with a heat index of 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be light and variable, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for mostly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures dipping to the mid-70s tonight. Winds light and variable, seas smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet as well. Low tide, we're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this morning at 11:43, with a low tide again this evening at 6:50. The sun will set this evening at 6:40 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:14. And the outlook is calling for light and variable winds and smooth seas as a weak pressure gradient persists over the northwest Caribbean through Thursday. Thereafter, a high pressure system over the United States is forecast to strengthen and support a gradual increase in winds across the northwestern Caribbean as the pressure gradient tightens. The chance of showers remain low through the next 72 hours. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat cheerleaders.
Aunt Angie, weren't you a cheerleader?
The best in the Western Hemisphere, until I attempted that switch kick double twist roundhouse.
Huh?
Exactly. I must have been in the air for 20 seconds before I fell into that snare drum. I set a world record, though, and thankfully I could trust the CG Medical Portal with my claims. All 37 of them.
The CG Medical Portal. Safe and secure. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Saturday, April 18th will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today. RotaryScienceFair.ky. The future is sparking.
The Ministry of Education and Training invites eligible Caymanians to apply for a local scholarship for the 2026-2027 academic year. To apply for a local scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit the Scholarship Secretariat's website at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Thursday, 30th of April, 2026. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Training.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see how the traffic is shaping up for this morning. Coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic a little steady there, as well as on Crew Road, but nothing to worry about too much. And from the east on Shamrock Road, moving at a moderate pace. On the Linford Pearson Highway, steady but flowing traffic. Crew Road, a little slow moving, but nothing to worry about too much. Heading towards the Georgetown area and heading east, traffic is moving pretty good on Crew Road. Downtown Georgetown looking pretty good on Edward Street as traffic is light to moderate. Shedden Road moving at a moderate pace. Owen Roberts Drive, no issues there as traffic is light to moderate, as well as coming from the West Bay four-way stop. And turning our attention to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is flowing pretty good in both directions. If you've seen accidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Coming off of the Esteli Tibbetts Highway, traffic moving at a moderate pace and continuing on to Industrial Park area, North Sound Road, moderate flow of traffic in both directions. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Craving something new? Dive into Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes inspired by the flavors of the coast, including the crunchy seafood bliss, the scrumptious chipotle tuna crunch, and the delicious breaded fish and ranch sub, made with our new breaded fish nuggets. Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes made to rock the boat. Only at Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. Did I leave y'all on a bit of a hot tip right there? I think right before that 8 a.m. news came in, I know we got a comment. I think it was it on Facebook, Susan, or was it on YouTube? It was a comment on YouTube that I'm just going to address this comment because I was talking about the immigration law changes, and I had spoken about the there was an employer protection change happening, meaning that if you are looking to change your job within the first 2 years, you have to leave island. So that's a new change that's happening to what is now called the Caymanian Protection Act. And the comment came in, and just in summary, saying if people are being untreated fairly, that they should speak up about it. Yes, I completely agree. They should speak up about it. People have also been threatened. And people know, you work alongside a colleague or you see somebody else who has spoken up about it, and you unfortunately see the treatment of what's happened to them. I know firsthand of more than one experience of people going to the DLP with all the evidence in the world and nothing happening. I've known people, Caymanians, who have done that. Not just an expat, but Caymanians who have gone there So it's this is a real thing. I actually just heard from another business owner who, man, it sparked me now that I want to have a discussion with business owners who have gone through the job hopping and it's frustrated them. And exactly, this is what I want to hear about. This is what I want to hear from businesses. But in this segment, that's not what I'm going to be discussing so much. We did get another comment. I'm trying to find it. I think it's via. Oh no, Susan had sent the YouTube one. So. Well, I'll get to that later, another time, next open line. But I got to move on to my guest that I have in studio with me right now. So we're changing gears here. I'm going away from the controversy of that law change to welcoming my guest this morning. So good morning to Mr. Tommy Ebanks, who's the owner of TCE Paint Shop. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm wide awake and ready to roll.
I love that he says wide awake because you told me that you drank coffee for this because you're not normally a coffee drinker.
No, I'm not.
Yes. So I'm glad. That's good. I'm on my second coffee. I'm very much a coffee drinker. Okay. I think I told you that Jevy told me that there's some coffee being sold, I think, at Kirk Market that has double the caffeine. I need it immediately. Kirk Market. You and I need to talk. So I'm a big coffee fan, but I appreciate you coming. I know the morning can be a little hard for people, especially me, so I appreciate you coming. You were here just before Christmas time.
Yes,
right?
I was.
We were talking about getting your home together, sprucing it up, little paint jobs for Christmas, that kind of stuff. And you did tease us and say something new is coming.
Yeah, and that's what I'm here this morning to talk about. We've been very, very busy over the last 3 months, especially with renovating a building in Georgetown to relocate to. And, we actually outgrew the space we were in previously on Godfrey Nixon Way. So we were actually just moving around the corner, Eastern Avenue, number 13 Eastern Avenue, the former Serve You Well building. So we've been giving that a facelift and renovating inside, and it gives us twice as much space, which is exactly what we needed. It was actually formerly owned by the Carbys, and we're actually purchasing the building from them. And they're great family friends of mine. As a matter of fact, one of their daughters, me and Kim, we went to school together. And Kay is another good friend, a younger daughter. They have 2 other daughters as well, Dawn and... So that's what happened when you begin with names. I don't remember them all. But the other...
I don't remember yesterday, so I get it.
Yeah. So we were happy we were able to negotiate the purchase of that building from them.
Awesome. Well done.
Gave us exactly what we needed.
Okay, I was going to say, did you get a little deal because you knew them? But, that's between you guys. I'm just teasing you here with that.
They're good friends.
Yes. So a new location, a bigger location.
Yes, ma'am.
Expanded location.
Yes, ma'am.
What does this mean for your outputs and everything?
It means, of course, with expansion, sometimes, you have to take on a bit more personnel.
Yes.
So it's that we realized our personnel manual wasn't what it should be, so we've rewritten our personnel manual.
What do you mean by that?
It's, as you grow, you need to constantly relook at your business plan, look at your personnel, how you treat your employees, what gets them motivated to actually work a bit longer, harder.
And loyal.
Become loyal. And we...
This comes right off my previous conversation, right?
Wrote things into that manual. We actually reward birthdays. We actually reward good performance by bonuses and employee of the year. We actually look at what people are doing and how the customers respond to what they're doing and commend them as well, on when they do things good and right. It's always good to let them know how well they're performing.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's building a strong company culture.
It certainly is.
And when you have that, some people can't describe at all what the culture within their company is, right? And some people don't want to. Some people are a little afraid. But if you could describe your company culture, how would you describe it, or how would you hope that an employee describes it?
That we're inclusive. We're actually very accommodating. We're also very customer-oriented, but employee grateful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I like the extra little perks that you're doing for the employees, especially recognizing a birthday. I'm big on birthdays.
Oh. Yeah, we have a cake. We have some finger food. You know, we actually have a little breakfast thing normally when there's a birthday, and there's always a gift.
I like that. I might apply. We'll see what's happening. Well, I don't know. Job hopping, they might call it. No, I'm teasing. I've been here 18 years. I'm pretty loyal.
You are.
I am. I think that's pretty awesome. So well done. So with not everybody will recognize in growing a business, you'll see, okay, I have to make these kind of changes. A lot of like with your employee personnel, kind of updating that manual, how you're trying to build your employees and retain them. I think that's really important. And as mentioned, it's kind of coming off of a little bit of what I was speaking about in my open line segment. And, hopefully I'll have you on a different segment to further explore that topic.
Yeah.
But
I think, you're only as good as your employees. And once you realize that, you understand how well they need to be treated.
Yeah, absolutely. Your people are your greatest assets. That's what I think.
Believe it.
So, which is why I just wish we would help each other out a little bit more and be kinder to each other. But that's a whole other facet of things. So, so TCE Paint Shop. I don't think I've ever asked what TCE stands for, or does it?
Well, it's initials of someone I know.
I hope they were good to you.
Yeah, they were really good to me. It was my son, actually.
Oh.
And, I thought if I ever did something, it wouldn't always be mine. And it was always the intention of actually passing this on to my two children, my son and my daughter. They've both been helping me over time. My son is actually now kind of managing the store, and he's doing a really good job at it. And I told him, it's going to be your son, so what you put into it is what you get out of it. Trying to still encourage him to finish his university degree, and he assures me he will. So I'm not busting his bubble right now. I'm just allowing him do it at his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's commendable that he's managing TC Paint Shop and trying to do his university degree at the same time. Yeah. So that's commendable. It's hard work.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard work. So he can get it done, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
And I hope he sticks with it, because the time's going to pass anyways.
Yes.
And the stock will just go up the more you learn for yourself and invest in yourself like that. So now this means you have to name a business after your daughter.
Yeah.
No pressure, Tommy.
No.
None at all.
We'll look for the next business.
So painting, as we've discussed before, I don't know too much about it. I rent, so I find that in Cayman, there's almost an unspoken rule that you really shouldn't paint the inside of wherever you're renting. But in Canada, this was completely very normal to do. We would just have to repaint it back to whatever the original color was. So sometimes I break the rules quite a lot. I think not even sometimes, but
any good landlord, being a landlord myself, if you're in your contract, it has to be returned to the original color.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, you should worry too much what happens while the tenant is in. Allow them to make it their home.
I agree. That's what it's all about.
Just make sure your tenancy contract has those things in, that it's returned to the original color.
I agree with that. Yeah. Right. And then go on your way.
Yeah.
You were allowed to do it, so make sure you just bring it back to originally what the space looked like before that.
Sure.
So that's the respect, right?
Yes.
That's the respect. Otherwise, you're going to get a bad review.
That's right.
From me as the
and we like to sell paint,
the owner. Yes, exactly. Come to us, TCE. So I guess with painting, and you're going to have somebody like me who might be a do-it-yourself person. What kind of advice are you giving people when they first walk into your shop and they're looking to paint?
We ask, of course, where are you painting? What's the area you're painting, so we can get the quantity of paint right. What colors you like, because you have to live in that house. What color is your furniture? Will the paint match with the furniture? We do have an interactive app that you can take a picture of the room, the space you're painting, the exterior of the house, bring it in on your electronic device, and we actually have an app that you can upload and then paint the picture, color the picture.
With the furniture you already have in there.
With the furniture you already have, you color it, and it looks, pick the color you want and keep changing the color until you find the right one.
I like that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of some of those AI models, like with your home, just take a picture of an empty space and boom, this is
Sherwin Williams gives you everything you need, makes it easy. We also have a color calculator. So once you've actually painted the room and you know the height and the width of the room, you put that in, how many doors and windows you have. It'll tell you how many gallons of paint you need per coat. And we normally recommend you put 2 coats on to properly color the wall and hide the color that was behind it previously.
Okay.
Because you don't want that color coming through.
Right.
And so we do it for DIYs. We actually have a checklist. Because a lot of people come in and think you just need paint, but what are you going to put the paint on with?
Yes.
Is there any holes in the wall that you need to patch? Do you need a little spackling to fill those holes? A little sandpaper to sand it off before you paint, a little drop cloth so you don't get any paint on the ground. So we give you a checklist of everything you need to do that job yourself.
Oh.
And we sell everything you need.
Okay, so this might be part of what I need to do, because where I live, they're like, you can't drill anything into the walls. I'm like, watch me. I mean, come on. Like, to hang pictures and curtains and all the rest. So whatever, that's an easy fix. Like, what is the big deal here? It's an old place. Like, let's let's get it together. So in that sense, I can go and get the little things to kind of patch the wall, fix the wall from you, and paint over how I need to. How would I match that paint?
We have a color scanner that we can come out if you don't know the name of the color. If you know the name of the color and where you bought it from before, we can match it. If not, we have a color scanner. We come out, scan the color on the wall, and mix the color to match.
Okay, and I mean, I'm talking for like little holes and patches and stuff.
Yeah.
This is great for somebody like me who...
Yeah. For that, we just give you a sealant or a caulking to fix it up and sand it off. And normally, if you don't remember the color you had behind, I can almost guarantee you somewhere on the door trim will be that old color. So you just peel it off and come in and we scan that and give you the old color.
Okay, love it. Easy peasy right there. Now I know what to do, because boy, I have to fix some of the not mistakes, some of the design adjustments I have made.
There you go.
Eventually.
Comfort adjustments.
Now, most people think that, paint really is just about color, right? And they're not looking at the elements here. But is there anything about Cayman's climate, like our heat, our humidity, the salt, that might change the way we're choosing paint?
Yeah, certainly. We have intense light, and light coming through a window can actually make one wall in a house fade more than the other because it has direct light on it. On the exterior, there's always 2 sides of the house that'll remain better than the other 2, because the other 2 gets the direct light from the north and from the east. North, east, and west normally gets the direct. The south doesn't get as much light because the sun is normally to our north.
I've never even considered that.
Yeah.
So this is a common issue in homes.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we...
So we actually, those sides would fade quicker. So sometimes those need to be touched up a bit more than the other one. However, there's a lot of efflorescence bleeding through, fading of paint here, and it's to do with the colorant and so forth that's used in paint, as well as the quality of the paint. So we actually recommend, if you get a bleed through or white stripes on your wall, that you put on a paint blocking primer prior to doing any type of painting. Just prime the house all over and color it. In the case of synthetic surfaces, people call it marmoran, aquacrete, different names for that product. Synthetic surface is a trouble-on finish.
Because marmoran is extremely popular, right?
Yeah, we have an elastomeric paint that you can paint right on that. That's basically a paint and prime in one.
Okay.
So you just paint it on, 2 coats of it, sometimes 1 coat can do it, and you've basically sealed that wall and extended the life of that surface for another 10 years.
Is that as effective as getting a primer and then the paint on top?
Yeah, it is, because that surface was already colored.
Okay.
So you're basically just restoring the color. If you're changing colors completely, then we recommend you actually put a primer. But if you're going back with the same color, you can go with just a primer and paint in one.
Okay. All right. Some good tips right there. We're going to go to our first commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear more from Mr. Tommy Ebanks, owner of TCE Paint Shop.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Got something on your mind that you want to share? You can send a text, send a voice note, or even request a song. Go on, give it a try. Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, hashtag Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me, I have Mr. Tommy Ebanks, owner of TCE Paint Shop. He's here to tell us about the new location because he's expanded TCE Paint Shop now to Eastern Avenue, so it's grown bigger, and we're just starting to hear a little bit about some of the products that he's offering. Now, as a do-it-yourselfer who rents, I have some questions, and he was able to answer some of those questions when it comes to me, how I'm going to paint and then, you know, bring back the space in a place that I rent to its original state. What's my best kind of procedure with that? And you've helped me with that. You've given me some great hints right there. Then I asked about the humidity, the climate here, how that affects the paints we might choose. Now, what about for the people who live along the ocean, along the beach there? I'm suspecting that the salt water is going to affect the exterior of their home more so than somebody more inland. So does that affect their paint? Do they have to freshen up their house more?
Yeah, they do. People living near the coast or along canals, lakes, anywhere you get a lot of moisture along the swamp. We have a lot of marshlands.
Yes.
Like that. They tend to paint a bit more regular than the average person. And to help them, we've actually, again, brought in this one primer and paint. It's actually by Luxon. It's a special sealer and primer. So it seals the wall. It actually, and it has elastomeric connections as well as glue bonding.
I have no idea what elastomeric connections are.
It actually elongates more than average paint. So
Okay.
It stretches.
Okay.
Yeah, paint does move. It's a living object, so it does move.
Okay.
So it actually goes onto the wall, and it goes on, covering all the effervescence, all the color stuff. Of course, the first thing you do before painting any surface near the water, you power wash it to get the salt and all the moisture off, mold,
grime,
other stuff that might be on the wall. Power wash it. We have additives you put in there, Simply Green, which is a green product that you power wash with. So if your water's dropping on plants stuff, it won't hurt them at all. As a matter of fact, it's actually almost like a fertilizer because it has potassium in it.
Well, okay.
Everything needs that, phosphorus. So it just drops on the plant and it basically helps it grow. Then you actually put on a special primer. And we have a new paint product or coating. It's called Rain Refresh or self-cleaning paint. So you put 2 coats of that on every time it rains. And we recommend near water, you put a satin. Or if you like something that shines, a semi-gloss or gloss. But we kind of recommend the satin. So it bonds to the wall and it allows the wall to be cleaned every time it rains. So when it rains, anything left on the wall will wash right off.
That sounds brilliant. Can I get that for my car? I would like a self-cleaning paint for my car.
Well, we're actually...
I feel like the auto industry
we're expanding into automotive paint.
Oh!
That's our next announcement that we hopefully within the next 2 months, we will be selling automotive paint as well. I have the Sherwin-Williams executives coming down at the end of the month. There will be two of them down this weekend for a grand opening, but the others, including our new VP for this area, which includes South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and Southwest Florida, United States, Texas, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be on island on the end of the month, and hopefully at that time he'll be awarding me the automotive paint line.
Oh, awesome.
So
we have to have, you're having a grand opening this weekend.
Yeah.
So we have to have a very impressive grand opening then, right?
We were actually, our relocation and opening, because
right.
we were to have an opening when we first started, and COVID came 2 months after I started. So that was canceled. No one could travel. Then we had another one scheduled, and Sherwin-Williams had a whole reorganization where VPs changed and all that sort of stuff. So we didn't get to do it then.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last 5 years, we've been trying to get an opening ceremony, and we're finally going to do it now when we relocate.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the store hopefully will be all made over, and when you walk in on Saturday, you should be seeing something for those people who are familiar with what a Sherwin-Williams store in America looks like.
Yes.
Something very similar. So we've actually been working very hard, and our cantina furniture just arrived. So I'm hoping that everything is in the cantina so that I can actually have the store, because we're pulling it apart today and unloading the cantina and starting to build the furniture out.
That's pretty awesome. You've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. It's good to hear this.
Yep.
So you're expanding, new store opening location, much bigger. It's going to look like a Sherwin-Williams paint shop in the States, which I'm pretty familiar with what that looks like.
Yep.
It's pretty glamorous and for paint,
Yep.
for a paint shop.
It is.
It's pretty cool. So, like, how does that make you feel starting from where you started, and then take us back to when you started TC Paint Shop? What has the journey been like?
It's been a very rewarding journey, but it's been a lot of work. Nothing actually good comes easy, to say, and
right.
I found out firsthand. To build a business, you actually have to put so much in, because someone once told me building a business is like raising a young child. They can't do anything for themselves. You have to do everything for it.
It's a good analogy.
Raised 2 children, so it's been very similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very similar.
I'm like, which do you prefer? But no, don't answer that.
I'll have another child any day. But business is actually very rewarding, fun. You deal with people. I wasn't really a people person.
I don't believe that at all.
I guess.
Why do you say that?
I was a civil engineer and a project manager. So in my former life with government, and an architect. So all three of those, if you know them, their personality is to be alone. Kind of do your thing all alone. Use the resources you need until you don't need them anymore. And you just get new resources to do new projects.
Since I've known you for like almost 18 years that I've been on island here, you've been a very personable person. So that it blows me that you would think that you wouldn't describe yourself as that. I'm like, no, absolutely. You're very personable, very friendly, very approachable.
Yeah. But I mean, when it comes to work, it's different.
So I've never seen you working. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. When I work, I'm totally different,
Just focused.
Yes, I guess. But, it's taught me a lot. Taught me how to calm down, listen to other people, hear what they have to say, see what benefit it is, and use everything you hear to incorporate it in your business if it works for you.
Yeah.
And I think, working with others who knew more about painting than I did has taught me a whole lot. And, one of them happened to be a childhood friend of mine who was actually a part of the business when I bought it.
Okay.
And I was able to retain him. And he's been a wealth of knowledge and a great resource for me in building the business. And, attending all of the programs that Sherwin-Williams put on teach you more about their products. I go twice a year to actually their workshops and conventions. And once a year, Sherwin-Williams have a big gathering of over 15,000 people that work for them. And They have over 5,600 stores in the U.S. So all of those people are in a big convention center, like in Orlando. I think the last one was in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl, Civic Center, whatever it was. And that was totally done out with paint. All the paint trucks were there. Painting booths were actually set up. People were painting walls, people doing flooring, people doing roofing, showing you all the different products that Sherwin-Williams use. And it's amazing to see everything on display and people there just talking about how you put together a paintbrush and how important it is that you choose the right brush for the right job, choose the right roller pad for the right surface.
Listen, people get mad at women and their makeup brushes. There's exactly why. And very artists.
Yes, it is.
And they're not painting very fine oil paints with one big broad brush. No, your brushes. It's all about your technique, the kind of hair that's on the brushes,
that's right.
Synthetic or like all of this matters.
And China bristle hair is the best hair you can get for a paintbrush.
What is it?
China bristle.
China bristle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a hair. And I've just as good as tell you how good they are. My father passed away 17 years ago, and I was cleaning out his shed. And I found a brush, a Purdy brush, one that I sell, wrapped in plastic. Plastic was rotten, but when I opened it up and brushed it all off, there was a brush that was never used in 17 years. And when I started to use it, it was painting as good as a brush I had on the shelf.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so once you carry your brushes, they can last a long time.
Right.
His probably last that long because he wasn't using it regularly. But, it goes to show how good the bristle is.
Yeah.
The bristle was still good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good to know there. Okay.
Yeah.
So with TCE growing from where it is to now, and you're getting an automotive paint line in, do you have further vision for TCE Paint Shop?
Yeah, we do. We would like eventually to have a location in Kimmenbrack. That's always been one of my objectives, and one in the district that I grew up in. And it's the fastest growing district in Cayman now, is West Bay. So we've been looking.
Some say the best district.
Oh, well, it is. They said the best come from the West,
I'm not going to disagree.
Anyway, being a native West Bayer who now lives in Newlands, I kind of adopted Newlands as well.
Mm-hmm.
And but no, we want to have a location in West Bay. Probably not anything as big as what we have in Georgetown, but certainly an outlet where people from that area don't have to commute all the way to town to buy paint.
Okay.
We can offer a smaller range of what we sell in town at that location. And in the Brack, we want to do, again, a small location, but again, provide the paints that people need over there to them.
Is their demand different than on Grand Cayman?
Yeah, Kimmenbrack is only a mile wide, so everything is coastal. What's not coastal is on the bluff.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a lot of the saltwater elements, that affect their paint. So what we've been selling in the Brack is actually our top-end paints. We sell a lot of our better paints in the Brack. That's what people research, and that's what they want. They want something that will last longer. So they've actually bought top-end paints for their projects over there. And we've gotten good compliments and reports on how the paint is performed and how it's performing. And we do a lot of roof coatings as well. We coat anything from concrete, metal, shingles, clay tiles.
What's the purpose of roof coating?
Roof coatings, like any other coatings, the material on the roof breaks down over time. So if you put this membrane on or this coating on, it extends the life of the roof.
Okay.
And we can do it in any color.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So some people just want to change the color
of the roof.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So instead of having to change the whole roof, clearly you just paint it there. Yeah.
A lot more affordable.
I would think so. Yes, because if a hurricane comes around and you have to replace the roof, that's a whole other thing, and we hope that doesn't happen at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you think are the biggest mistakes with homeowners in choosing paint? Is it just not listening to you guys, the experts? Or are they looking for that guidance?
a lot of them are looking for guidance when they come in. Others come in just to get a freshen up or a touch up on what they've already used. So we keep records of everything that we use on a particular location. So because we don't know when it's going to be sold, right?
Yes.
So we keep a record by address, an apartment by number within a complex. So today you might own it, but tomorrow it might be owned by someone else. So we keep it by address so that when you come back, if you've used in the master bedroom a blue, we keep that number 4 Panton Street, Blue Walls, master bedroom, and we keep the color blue that you use there.
I think that's brilliant data collection.
Yeah, and we actually, it's all kept in the cloud. So Sherwin-Williams afford us a piece of their cloud to actually store all the information.
I think that's really good. That's really great, actually.
Yeah, so if a client comes to us from the U.S., for example, and they had a U.S. Sherwin-Williams account number, I can call up their account number because I had one come in that had bought a condo and they wanted to do their condo the same color as their house. So I went online, called up their number, account number from the States, and I was able to retrieve all their information as well.
I love
that's
that.
a good thing about being franchised, you know?
Yeah, a nice streamlined process right there. Available information.
Yeah.
You get things done real quick for people. I love that. I think that's a great way to store and access information.
Sure.
Definitely. I wouldn't have expected that. Okay. Oh, we missed our... Okay, let me go to a quick commercial break right now, and then I want to hear a little bit more about the store opening because I think there's some details. You know, I want there to be a great crowd for you because you are going to be blessed with that automotive paint line. All right?
Thank you.
Take a quick commercial break right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, Delano Hislop Pace, 5K and 10K Walk Run is back on April 12th. Whether you're trying to stay a bit fitter, looking to invest more time in your community, or just looking for a reason to get out in the sun, the Delano Hislop Walk Run is the perfect opportunity to keep your goals in check. Visit the Lions Club Facebook page for registration details. The 2026 Delano Hislop Pace Walk Run, Sunday, April 12th. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, proudly serving the community for over 50 years.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands.
50 years of music.
This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
50 years of life. We are the rhythm of the city.
Radio Cayman.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and we're just in the final stretch of our conversation right now with Tommy Ebanks. He's the owner of TCE Paint Shop, and he gave us some great news, which I'm going to allow Mr. Tommy to share with our listeners again. It's happening this weekend.
Yep. This weekend, we'll be actually opening our new store on 13 Eastern Avenue. It's the old Serve You Well building right behind Reflection Liquor for Less, right across from Flo.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know the Serve You Well building.
Right across
Nobody
from
knows
Flo.
numbers here. You know, you can't be like 13. You have to
13
say
is the building right behind Liquor for Less on Eastern Avenue.
There you go, because that's the landmark.
That's the landmark, right across
we're
from
looking
Flo.
for.
And the good thing is Liquor for Less has agreed and Flo to give us some parking for the event because we only have 10 parking bays in our store location. So we're going to actually be using their parking lot to the east of their facilities. So you come in, make a right in Liquor for Less and go down. There's a little parking lot to the east along North Sound Way. And then also Cable and Wireless, you turn in right across from Rogelio's Car Wash and go straight down. And there's a parking lot in the back of Flo. And then you can park there and just walk across. It's only a 100-yard walk. So
yeah, if needed, yeah.
Yeah, so there will be parking. There'll be people there and signs showing you where the parking is. So we invite everyone to come out. It's going to be at 9 to 12, we're going to have a ribbon cutting at around 9:15, and we will actually have giveaways all day long and discounts on your paint, and hopefully we'll find a spin the wheel so we can put on the percentage discount, or can of paint, bucket of paint, paintbrush. So you get something. Once you do a purchase, you'll get spin the wheel, and we also have a little gift pack for you, a bag with some Sherwin-Williams and TCE goodies in it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you make a purchase, okay?
You make some sort of a purchase. Buy yourself a China bristle brush.
Yeah.
The best one on the market.
That's on the market.
So I want to ask about the Sherwin-Williams brand. Yes. Why Sherwin-Williams? And honestly, it's one of the only paint brands of a name that I can remember. That's, it's in my head.
Sherwin-Williams has been around for over 160 years. It was started by Mr. Sherwin and Mr. Williams in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it's now the number one paint brand in the world, and it's been number one for the last 5 years. We have some competition as well on the island from some other brands, which are good brands as well. Mm-hmm. But we figure we have the best brand. And we have the best brand because they continue to innovate, research, bring new things to the market. I mentioned one of them, the actual Reen Refresh or self-cleaning paint.
Yes.
No one else has done it. Sherwin-Williams is the leader. The others in 13 months will start doing it because after 13 months, anyone can do it.
Oh, because a patent.
It's a patent, yeah. You get 13 months of free sales on your patent. And then after that...
I feel like that changes for industries as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then, we also have...
so that's a fairly new
product. It's a fairly new thing, yeah. It's probably about 2 years old, so the others are probably beginning to produce it now. But in addition to that, we have a paint, solo paint. Goes on any surface. And we have a primer that can even prime glass. We can prime your glass windows and paint over them if you want.
Okay, is this like a self-tinting do-it-yourself thing? Or?
No, this is actually a solid paint that goes, a primer goes on glass, and you can paint the glass if you wanted a certain color to get a certain shade of light coming in. So you can almost do like
interesting
what you see in church windows and stuff like that.
Stained glass window.
Stained glass window, you can do it with paint.
Okay. That's going to make my mind start spinning a little bit because I love stained glass windows. Yep. So, okay. All right, very interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
It'll have me doing all sorts of stuff to the place that I rent.
So, it's actually an amazing paint, solo paint. It goes on any surface, and it has been known to last without fading for up to 10 years. We know in this tropical climate so close to the equator, we are probably more intense light than anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And, when they tell you something will last a lifetime, not in Cayman. No. I haven't seen any paint that lasts a lifetime. But
lifetime guarantees are like 10 years.
Yeah.
Something like that,
10 to 15 years. If you get 10 to 15 years out of a paint product, you've done exceptionally well.
Yeah.
So we feel we have the best one and type paint, and we also have an exterior colorant. Not many other paint suppliers use the exterior and the interior. We use interior colorants for inside, which is zero VOC, therefore no smell.
Okay.
For the exterior, we use an exterior colorant, which has some UV protection, and it has a little smell. So you smell it for while you're painting, and once you finish painting, it's gone.
Okay. All right.
So that's where your VOC come from.
Okay. Understood with that.
Yeah. So VOC is actually the measure by which you can actually say a paint is zero VOC, which means no smell.
Okay.
Up to 0.4.
And you'll find that mostly with interior paints.
Mostly interior.
You should want to pick an interior paint that has zero VOC.
And Sherwin-Williams has been the leader in that as well. They developed VOC paint.
Okay. All right. You hit a couple of really great reasons as to why Sherwin-Williams as a leading brand.
Yes.
Why you're sticking with that. I like that. I think that's good.
Just to let people know, we won't be closing the old location because there's another product we sell, nationwide paint, which is elastomeric paints and ceramic paint for your exterior. This paint is actually our greatest insulating paint. It's paint you put on walls, ceiling, roofs, floors, and it insulates interior and exterior. So it reduces your electrical bill. but we didn't have enough space in this new location to bring them over with us.
No way.
So we left them where we were.
Okay.
So we'd rather compete against ourselves rather than someone else taking that location and doing another paint line and I having to compete against them.
Right.
I'll just leave an old product we have over there and compete against myself.
Well, and part of the vision for you is to open up other locations, so
that
I can understand not wanting to close
that's right.
that location, at least not at this point.
No, because we'll get people still walking in there.
Yeah.
So we want to keep that going, and that might be where we put our automotive paint as well, because we have more space there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you'll get people in the door for both, as opposed to just that kind of target group.
Correct.
Okay, I like that. I like that. And then you're getting people into both businesses, per se. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You had mentioned about the longevity of paint, the lifetime kind of guarantee with paint.
Mm-hmm.
How often should we in Cayman, because, we have that very strong sun element to deal with, how often should we look at repainting the exterior of our home and even the interior of our home?
Any paint we sell will last at least 5 years. So, but being Cayman, my mother and my parents painted every Christmas.
Really?
Every Christmas. I can remember some room or something was painted. And, I think it's just Caymanians, we have a tradition of wanting to paint at Christmas. But, you can get away with exterior paints up to 5 years. And interior paints, they're going to paint. They're going to change colors no matter what. It's, it's just, they might buy a new piece of furniture and they want, we got to buy something to match this furniture, Or we got a bedroom set. They may change linen, or comforters on their bed, and they want a color to match that.
Listen, you don't say too much, because if my friend's mom is listening, if she hears any of this conversation, will be completely inspired to go change an entire section of the house, and the family won't know until they've come home or they've gone on vacation. She's done it.
Yeah.
But this is a very real thing.
It is just the way we are.
People are inspired by their spaces, and I think we should be. We're in these spaces. Our environment matters.
And, if you think of it this way, your home is probably your biggest investment other than your children.
Yes.
So why not make it look the way you want it to look?
Absolutely. Be comfortable in it.
Yeah.
We spend too much time being uncomfortable in other situations. Your home is your solace. It's your resting place.
That's right. The only other
Take care of it.
Place I spend as much time is the restaurant.
Or work.
Or work, too.
So there's
I'm talking about comfort time.
Okay, there's a couple mythbusters here that I want you to I guess demystify for us here. So there's one myth. All paint is basically the same.
No, all paint is not the same. All paint is made up of the same chemicals, but some paints has more clinker, has more colorant, has better colorant, and it's sieved differently. So you get finer and better textures.
What do you mean by sieved?
If you imagine paint, paint is like a mortar that goes on the wall. If you imagine mortar is made up of cement and sand, paint is made up of milk. And you got to strain it, but it's powdered. So you have to constantly sieve it.
Okay.
And the better sieved, the finer particles you get, the better the paint quality.
Okay. All right. Next up, I'm going to say we have one more
and
myth bust, but
that goes into it is what really makes the color last as long.
Okay.
So the more UV protection you get in that colorant, the longer it lasts.
Okay. So get more UV protection in the colorants. That is a great tip.
Yeah.
We got to end the show, so if there's one final thing you want our listeners to know. I mean, we want to invite them to the opening on Saturday, right?
Saturday from 9 o'clock or 8:30 until 12. We'll be out there. We have finger food. We have great savings for you, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting at 9:15, 9:30. And we'll be there all day, though, until 4 o'clock to serve you. Mm-hmm. So come on out, and for every purchase you make, you get a little gift bag.
I like it.
So, and a chance to get probably an additional saving by spinning the wheel.
And it's the former Serve You Well building on Eastern Avenue, right behind Reflections.
Right behind Reflections and right across from the old Flow building. It's going to be soon become the police station. So we'll be right across from the police station. We couldn't think of being in a better place.
What a great place for a police station. Or is it? I don't know. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. I think I said we got to end the show. I didn't mean that. That's, my coffee not kicking in. We're going to have to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I have another conversation in just a few minutes. But thank you, Tommy, for joining us. Best of luck this weekend. And yes, I hope you get the greatest crowd, because we want the reps from Sherwin-Williams to see, boom, this man is very well supported. The business is doing good, and we are going to award him with this automotive paint line. And whatever else you want, right?
Thank you.
No problem. Great to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
A 25-year-old Badentown resident is facing formal robbery charges. He's accused of targeting a victim leaving a gym at Harbor Walk on the 27th of March, attacking him and taking a gold chain. The suspect appeared in court on Thursday. He has been released on bail. In international headlines, U.S. airstrikes hit 2 bridges, a train station, and military targets in Iran, including the oil hub of Karg Island. Iranian officials are urging young people to form human chains around power plants, while U.S. President Donald Trump warns that a whole civilization will die tonight if Tehran does not meet an 8 p.m. Washington deadline to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz to global shipping. In Turkey, 3 assailants opened fire on police outside the building that houses the Israeli consulate in Istanbul, triggering a fierce gunfight. 1 attacker was killed and 2 others wounded and captured, while 2 police officers suffered minor injuries. Officials say the gunmen, armed with long-barreled weapons, drove in from the city of Izmit, and at least 1 is linked to a group accused of exploiting religion. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome to The Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and we are on the final segment of this morning's show. And I'm welcoming to the studio Bruno Delhais. He's the country manager for Flow. And we are here to talk about Flow's apprenticeship program known as Aprenticeship. That's like a mouthful for me right there. Apprentice-shop. I like it. I like the play on words. I think it's pretty cool. So joining me, as I mentioned, is Bruno Delhais, country manager for Flow and Liberty Business, and he's going to tell us all about what Apprentice-shop is about. So good morning. Welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
No problem. How are you doing?
I'm very good this morning.
Excellent. Now, your accent. I hear an accent. I don't know where it's from.
Yeah, you hear that accent, right?
Where are you from?
It's a French-speaking accent. I'm from Belgium.
Okay, Belgium, because it sounds like a French accent, but then I want to say, and then there's some country. Some people don't like to be mistaken from the wrong country. I do it with Australians and English people all the time, and they're like, "How can you not tell?" I'm like, "I'm sorry."
And in Belgium, we don't speak Belgian. We speak French and Dutch, and so you can be mistaken easily, so no worries.
Right. So, okay, good to know. Okay, cool.
I've been here 6 years, so...
6 years.
Yeah.
You're country manager for Flow.
Correct.
What does your job role entail here?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. let's get a little bit background on you, who you are.
So first of all, I've always been in telecom, almost like 20 years.
Okay.
Right? So back in Belgium and now 6 years in this region. I've been acting at regional level for the Caribbean. As you know, Flow is present in many markets.
Mm-hmm.
And now since a year and a half, I would say, as a country manager for Flow Cayman.
Okay.
And this is great because this is home to me now. And it's all about developing networks, technologies, serving our customers, making customer service better. These are my core task.
Okay.
So every day with my team, we work relentlessly to keep everybody connected. The thing is, like, now, internet is like air. It's like breathing. It's like power. Maybe sometimes more important than power, right? If you have your kids going into a hotel room, they will ask for Wi-Fi before they ask for light, right?
That's one of the biggest things. Do you have Wi-Fi? Anywhere you go, almost. Yeah.
You need to provide Wi-Fi, also mobile connection, so that we develop very strong 5G networks, so that people just stay connected wherever they are. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
my core mission.
Your core mission. Okay.
Yeah.
And with this Apprenticeship program and Liberty Business, give me some background on Liberty Business, because it's my first time understanding what Liberty Business is.
So, back in the days, Flow used to be cable and wireless.
Yes.
Right? And in the whole region, we rebranded as Liberty Caribbean. And under that umbrella, we transform our B2B brand, which is our brand for the business customers, into Liberty Business. And this is the case across the region, and it makes sense so that we have the same brand for businesses across the whole region. We have many synergies, many customers that are not only in Cayman, but also in other jurisdictions. So we use Liberty Business as our, call it new, business brand.
Okay.
So, and Flow remains because, Flow is so much known by anyone.
Yes.
That there's no reason to change that brand. So people like that brand, they're used to it. And so for we call it residential customers, so any customer like you or anyone,
we would choose Flow.
We would choose Flow. Yeah.
But if it was, for example, if Flow is working with Radio Cayman, it would actually be Liberty Business.
Correct.
Because it's a business to business.
It's the same company.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. Gotcha. So the Apprenticeship program. It's my first time hearing about it. I don't know why either. So tell me about the Apprenticeship program. How did this come about with Flow?
It's funny you say Apprenticeship. Probably it's my team saying that. I like the word.
I like it. It's a great play on words,
by the way. But so that's a great program to develop young Caymanians, and it's just to create the workforce of tomorrow. We realize that we have a need as a company of more skills in terms of technical skills. Flow, it's a lot about networks and engineering and technical skills in the field. If someone comes to your house, installing a broadband connection, an internet connection, you need those skills. And we realized that there was a need to create the environment for Caymanians to thrive and make sure that they can access also the workforce. Right? We've been discussing those topics, and I know the government is very strong on that right now. And we've been starting this in 2022.
Okay.
It will be mid-April. We'll talk about it, but mid-April will be our next wave.
Okay.
And so we had 2 waves so far of Apprentice. It's a program of 2 years for young apprentice.
Oh,
they go along.
This is a proper apprenticeship program.
It's a real apprenticeship. So it's real on-the-job experience. So they are getting 2 years program, and then they segue into a career, ideally at Flow. We love to keep them,
of course.
But otherwise, in the Cayman market, in the Cayman workforce. So it's in any case, it's great for them, and it's also great for us because we get access to those skills and also a fresh eye on our business, because young people can challenge you as well. So that's quite interesting as well to get.
That's true. So I've been hearing about Generation Z a lot.
Exactly.
Which is interesting because then it challenges your leadership skills too, right? It makes you do things a little differently.
It does.
It's a whole other conversation again right there. Okay, so it's a 2-year program. How do you reach out to Caymanians, or how do they know how to apply for this program?
So we're going to start the campaign this year, as I said, mid-April, and we are working together with Work.
Okay,
so
great.
The department of
wonderful.
Work. And they're helping us to put advertising out and make sure that people can reach out, understand what are the criteria, because you need to be a young graduate from high school or university local. You need to be a Caymanian. You need to be between 18 and 25 years old. So there's a list of criteria.
Why the age? I'm going to say restriction because it's up to 25. So why that kind of age range that you're looking for?
It's a good question.
Because a lot of us don't know until after.
We could do different things, but in this program we've decided to really focus on the youth and get them that first step.
Okay.
So the idea was really, it's up to 25 years old because that gives them it could be up to 7 years after they graduated, right? So it's to make sure that this is their first step.
Okay.
The idea is really to get a youth into his first career movement. So this is what we are actually helping to do.
To develop, yeah.
We do have jobs in our company in many areas, including the technical field, for anyone of any age, right? So when those jobs are open, anyone can apply. This is really focused on, making that extra effort to get them to access the workforce.
Okay.
And create a career for them. Because, that first job is always, maybe you remember your first job. I remember mine. I sent thousands of resumes and I feel like nobody was listening, So I finally got, I think, it lasted 6 months for me, even though I was a university graduate, But, companies, they get their opportunities and sometimes they just have nothing. And here's really about creating that opportunity.
Right. And this is it's a specialized industry per se.
Yeah, it's very much technical field.
Yes.
The one thing I would like this year, I was reflecting, how do we want to shape this this year? We can discuss also about the apprentices that have been going through in the past, but this year I would like more girls. So I think it's a very technical field, and in our business we do have very powerful female leaders, right?
And there's so many women in STEM. It's hugely growing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe some of my colleagues, they will recognize themselves. Claudine, Gigi, Samantha, all these are team leaders.
Okay.
They are in the technical field. So it can also be a career for girls. So this is now my plea this morning. If you are a young girl, a young graduate, and you want to discover what it takes to be in the technical field, first you won't be alone. You may have a female manager as well, and second, it's a great opportunity because we want to favor that, and you're gonna have lots of opportunities inside our company. So I'd like that. If you would ask me what is the spin I want to give this year, it would be that spin.
Okay. All right. I feel you. And I guess my response to that, my advice, not that you're asking me for it, but I would say you got to get those female leaders to talk to the females as well. Because as a woman, that's effective to me. Yes, men in leadership positions I'll listen to, but it aligns with me. It speaks to me differently when I see a woman in that position, because I'm seeing myself, and I don't see myself in a man, right? Well, at least me, who I am, and the pronouns that I own for myself. Again, different conversation, but that's what I would try. Have some of those female leaders be part of this recruitment. And I'm sure it's probably within your guys' strategy and plan and how you're trying to get people to apply for the apprenticeship program. But
you make me think.
Way.
You make me think this morning. So thanks for that advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very much motivated. For me, I love to hear from successful women or women that are doing things, because that's who I am. I'm a woman, so I can more so relate to what the women are going through. I will definitely learn from men as well. But that's a way to
we
take
do
it.
that. As I told you, we have, hopefully they will
Yeah.
be willing to.
Yeah, hopefully,
to help me in this, but yeah.
A little bit of pressure on you ladies, but I'm challenging you to do
Exactly.
that. How does this apprenticeship program look like?
So, first of all, there's an onboarding process, right? And then they get into that career. There's always a bit of a buddy program. When technicians, for example, if you're a field technician, you would go and do installation of internet or repair some failures on the network or inside people's home. There will be always a buddy program. So we won't let the apprentice being on their own. And the great thing about that is that they will challenge, I can tell you, this is why I was telling you, certainly this generation, as you say, they will challenge us in the way we do things. And think about the world of AI today. And I'm sure they will get a lot of information in many different ways than our technicians are doing right now. So that's also great from our perspective, but also from their perspective, because they get guidance, but they are also being listened to, because we want to hear from them, how do you see this?
Right.
Because, it's also about transforming this business. Flow has been around since 1966, right? So the first operator on island to lay lines and stuff, but the world is different.
Yeah.
So we need, and you asked me earlier, why those young people? It's also an opportunity to get this young voice into our business. So what it looks like, they start with this buddy program. They will first shadow a fellow colleague, and then they will take more and more, they will learn, and then they will take more and more responsibilities in terms of starting doing the things themselves, now becoming a real colleague in the field, starting to drive the truck, starting to, they will start doing a lot of things that the buddy is used to do since a long time. And they will take those responsibilities. So it's really about
it's
growing.
A real apprenticeship program.
Yes, and it's 2 years. So as you say, so from the first program we did in 2022, we had 6 apprentices. 4 of them are still working for Flow.
Beautiful.
And the other 2 are probably having a nice career somewhere else, which is also good, And they're being technicians or different careers inside Flow. So,
that's 6 people
who
didn't have the skills before.
Correct.
And now do and have a great career within Flow with room to move and elevate.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And since then, so that was the first one in 2022. So it ended in 24. We started another one in 24, which is ending this year about.
Okay.
And we have another 4 that are going to jump into the workforce. I mean, into outside of the apprenticeship, into having a career.
Now they have official job
titles. So it's going to be like 8 in total so far.
Nice.
And we are recruiting next. So, we are building and building and building. Okay. And they're having their job right now.
So this is now the 3rd wave.
Is the third
am I right?
wave.
Okay, the 3rd wave of this apprentice shop program. Okay, which is going to be for 2 years.
Correct.
Yes, I love it. We got to take a quick commercial break. I'm a little late with the commercial break right now.
Okay.
It's been a great convo so far, but we'll get into more details of the apprenticeship program when we return.
Pneumonia, meningitis, and serious bloodstream infections can all be life-threatening to infants and young children, but protection is available. Under the updated National Immunization Schedule, the pneumococcal vaccine is now given in just 2 doses at 2 and 6 months, providing strong protection while reducing the number of shots. Vaccination helps the body recognize these bacteria and prevents serious illness, helping to keep the whole community protected. Keep your child and others safe. Ask your healthcare provider about the updated schedule today. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability and the Public Health Department.
Craving something bold, juicy, and packed with flavor? Introducing KFC's new crispy barbecue sandwich served on a soft, buttery brioche bun. That's 100% KFC premium chicken breast, perfectly crispy, deliciously smoky with crispy onions, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce. Just the right amount of messy in the best way possible. Stacked with layers of bold KFC flavor, this sandwich is your new obsession. But hurry, it's only at KFC for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today at any of the 3 KFC locations on island. KFC, finger licking good, just got bolder.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands. This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me, I have Bruno Delhais. He's the country manager for Flow and Liberty Business. And we are here talking about the Flow Apprenticeship Program, known as Apprenticeship. It started in 2022. It's a 2-year apprenticeship program, so we are now about to begin the third wave. We're doing, is it a recruitment process or application?
Application and
process.
Recruitment, yeah.
And it's beginning mid-April. And how can people find out where they need to apply?
So everybody interested needs to look out for the advert going out from us and work. That everything is going to go out by mid-April. I was asking my team, is there any email or contact that they can hit before that? And they were telling me, let's wait for the official advert and they will see everything they need to do, because I don't want to say anything today and nowhere. So hopefully, but be on the lookout. And as from mid-April, when it's out, you can also reach us any point of contact, right?
Okay.
If you want to pop up at our store at Galleria Plaza, for example, and ask our staff about it, you will be redirected in any case. So there's no way you stay home and you don't know how to do this, right? But wait for mid-April and you'll see. Mid-April is when? Next week?
Yeah, actually it is.
By the end of next week, if you're interested. So go ahead and look out, or just reach out to us anyway, any mean. And it's a small island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I usually find that people know people, right? So they go and they find us in a way or another. Yeah.
Okay. So you've told us a little bit about how the apprenticeship program is structured. Is there anything else we need to know what they're doing in these 2 years?
I mean, during the 2 years, I think we covered it.
Okay.
What is interesting is to see what happens after.
What happens after?
Yeah. So we don't let them just where they are. Of course, we embark them into a career at Flow, so they become like full-time employee, for example.
Are they guaranteed a job, or?
They are not guaranteed a job, but look, if they've lived through the 2 years with us, usually it shows that motivation and that appetite to work. And we haven't got cases where we would refuse anybody a career. So far we've been successful in having people just willing to continue with us, outside of 2 that wanted to do something else, which is absolutely fine. But 8 of them stayed and are going to become altogether Flow employees. So I mean, we favor this. So the real idea is to give them that opportunity. Yeah. Okay. So if they are happy after 2 years, if we are happy, everybody happy, then we just continue. And then
what does the career, pathway look like?
So
once they finish the apprenticeship.
So Flow is for the island quite a big company, so there are many opportunities, certainly in the technological field. So there are segues to different careers. It could be in engineering, it could be in configuration, it could be, as we said, Liberty Business would have also jobs into installing now for a business customer, which is very complex installation that require even more skills. So to make sure that we create those paths, we've created a program that we call Technical Pathways. And this is a different program for the technical workforce, being the former apprentices or anybody else. But the apprentices now are lucky because now they get to segue into that if they want to. Mm-hmm. And this program is about getting upskillings and training of our technicians and getting them official certification. And so the great thing about this is that they can also, for themselves, start to book technical certifications and move to that next level. So it will give them opportunities at Flow. Hopefully this is where they choose to stay. Mm-hmm. But we upskill them, so they will live their life, and if they find opportunities somewhere else in a foreign country, etc., at some point we'll just be proud of them because they've been successful Caymanian, growing, developing, and making their own career. And we have a success story lately with an apprentice that went all the way through.
Okay.
So it's called Antoine. If you're listening, congrats again.
Congrats, Antoine.
The whole team is super proud because the Antoine went the 2 years apprentice. He started in 2024, right? And actually, he shortcutted. He was so good that we decided to hire him before the end of the apprenticeship.
Wow, okay.
And he segued straight ahead to the technical pathways program, which is amazing. And then he was so motivated, he started to book his training and upskilling, and he got to pass a test recently on a certification. And we are so proud.
Yeah.
He got a certification on from the Society of Cable and Telecommunications Engineering, and this is a renowned certification in the telecom industry.
Okay.
And he just got it, and it's not easy. I can tell you, you can succeed, but you can also fail. And so this for us is if you ask me, you were asking me offline about the success story. That's one.
That's awesome.
And we want more of these success story, and it really.
What's Can I ask what Antoine's role is right now, if you know?
He's a field technician.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's helping customers to install their broadband or internet. Is connecting people basically, or keep them connected if there any failure or an issue,
but with the certifications,
is going there to repair
and training and upskill that he is choosing to do with these career pathways.
So it was broadband wireless certification. So it's really a certification on that field of being a technician, and it opens up as well for him. I hope it will create that motivation to pass other certification. And we in the business we need,
because where could he go is where I want to know. Like
honestly, like I would tell you, sky's the limit.
That's awesome.
Sky is the limit.
Okay.
I think as we see. It's always self-driven, at some point. Development is also something you decide for yourself.
And it's lifelong, really. I think it's learning is lifelong for us if we want to do better. Yeah.
Certainly nowadays.
Yeah.
I feel myself, like if I say, I have 20 years of experience in telecommunication and stuff, I don't feel this way at work every day. I feel being challenged, I feel that I need to train. I feel that I need to keep to speed, And so when you see people willing to learn, willing to get certified, willing to book all these things, it's really in order to grow. And I say sky is the limit because, nowadays more than ever you learn on the job. I think you learn by doing.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's good to have a degree and all these
and
stuff.
And theories, but...
It kind of structure your mind, which is good.
Yes.
But then how efficient are you going to be in business is not necessarily determined by that. This is why this program is so great. It's really on the job. It's really getting people to do what they want to do it in different ways.
For me, there's like two very important components of education, and it's the critical thinking that it introduces you to, and then the actual doing and experiencing of whatever it is that you're learning. So we can study and read books and do theories as much as we want, but until we apply what we've learned into something, the actual doing, it's really just an idea still, per se, right? And we can just read about that all our whole lives, but until we're actually doing, we don't know about those changes. I love this apprenticeship program. I think it's a great one. Are the apprentices paid in their 2 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so.
They wouldn't work for free. They wouldn't work for free.
Some people might want to know. I would want to know. Some people like to do 2-year internship programs and not pay anybody. And I'm like, what?
As their career evolves, of course, they're going to get access to different
greater opportunities.
Tiers and opportunities, also for higher salaries and stuff. But that's like in every company. But this is the case in our company. So those people striving to make it. Hopefully they make it for development, training, etc. But we all work also a little bit for the money, right? So,
of course.
so it's important. So this is creating your own opportunities in life as well.
Okay, I love it. There's more questions I want to ask, especially when it comes to you're trying to target the youth, and how are you doing that? Let's say within the schools, and I'm sure this stuff is being developed because I know with work, it's not only in this industry, but like in AI, for example, there's been a lot of work being done in how do we target the kids in schools and get them from the younger age interested in these careers. And I'm sure that there's stuff being done there. We don't have time to get into it. We got to end our show right now. But if there's a final message you want to leave with our listeners, whether it's about applying for the program, anything that they need to know about the apprenticeship, let us know now.
So yes, if you are a young graduate and you're looking forward to a great career, technical career, Flow is your place. We're going to create the environment for you. So be on the lookout for the adverts going out in April with work and Flow. And hopefully we can see you soon in the company, learning and working with us.
Hopefully. I think it's a great apprenticeship program. I love to hear about the success stories as they come around. And thank you for sharing this with us. And I hope you get some very interested people and that they're going to be those loyal people that you need with Flow. And they'll just, investing in your people is very, very important. I think investing in people is one of the most important things. And for us to learn and grow is important because that's how we're just going to develop as a society. So I think you guys are doing a great thing. And I wish you success with the apprenticeship program.
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Everybody else out there, have a great Tuesday. I know it's the start of a shorter work week for us. I promise you I will get more than 4 hours sleep tonight. We'll see. But I'll be back with you on Thursday on The Buzz.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.